Hello, everyone. It's Wilka here with another episode of Wilka Leadership Talks. And today I have Tato Manyoga. Did I pronounce correct, Tato?
Manyoga. Yep.
Okay, almost. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. But please go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners in the hospitality industry.
Great, everyone. My name is Thato Manyoga. I've been in hospitality leadership for quite some time. Outside of the hospitality industry, also pursuing a doctorate in organizational leadership. So leadership is always a fun subject, whether in academia or in a hotel setting.
Definitely. And this is awesome. Like I didn't know you were getting the PhD. That's fantastic.
Yeah, hopefully we'll wrap it up soon. It's been a long road. It's almost 7 years. So I keep getting
Wow.
emails from the university like you got to finish soon.
But I bet, managing school work and a full-time job, right? It might not be the easiest thing. So how do you, balance both?
For me, balance. It's always a day-to-day assessment. Like at the end of the day, you're like, oh, did I achieve balance in the schedule, or was everything all over the place? But really, just prioritizing everything. Obviously, when you have children, they always come first, and everything else kind of shifts around it. But just having a clear, balanced plan in the day helps me work out. Those.
Awesome. Yeah, balance is everything. Tell me about it because with my two, little puppies, it's definitely challenging.
Exactly. Also with traveling too, so I'm sure that adds another curveball.
Yeah, for sure. But priorities, and that's part of leadership, right? So I want to get into that straight from when did you start in hospitality? Did you have a mentor that guided you to revenue management, or was something that you already entered and knowing that you wanted to do that?
Sure. So for me, entering hospitality kind of started in adulthood. I was working in a different industry, in the banking industry, and I wanted a change of speed. So I started in the hotels with a night auditor position overnight, just to kind of test the industry and see if I would like it. And from there, I kind of learned about the different departments in hotels and how they operate, and discovered that there was a business called revenue management. So I started researching it, and I was like, this is a good mix of my personality and finance and numbers, and still get a chance to deal with people as well. So I did have a mentor earlier in my career, Maggie Glodziak, which really helped me from both the hospitality side and then also as a leadership mentor as well in the industry.
Wow, awesome. And in terms of when you started, because I think I love that, you started in night auditor. I remember I was working in a hotel by BWI area, and the night manager was fantastic. He had all hands on decks. If we had an event at the ballroom the next day, he already had the staff prepping the night before. Like he was on top of, his game. And sometimes, people not really highlights the work, right, of the night auditor, but all of the financial of the hotels is in your hands, right?
Yeah, and and I credit the night auditor because that's the role that kind of sees the back door of all the departments, right? So if you have heavily food and beverage operations, or just a small hotel, really any size hotel, you kind of see everything in the back door from the night auditor role. From there, I was able to kind of learn the different departments, and then you kind of make a decision. You have two night auditors. You have one that's bare minimum, and then two, the one that says, how can I help the rest of the team be efficient in the day as well. So that's the route I took, and with that, I learned more and more about the hotel industry.
Yeah, I remember when I was at the front desk, my night auditor manager, his name is Matt, at the Annapolis Marriott Waterfront back in the day. He would leave me notes daily because I would make mistakes.
Oh, really?
Until I've learned, right? Like, how do you post, a pantry charge, or, on the right account? And, how do you balance, virtual credit card for, certain partners and etc. But definitely, I think NI Auditor, they have so much knowledge. It's almost like you really have the financial, not just on a daily basis, but end of the month for him was so easy. And I was like, oh my God, how do you run all these reports like in 2 hours?
Mhm.
So I really appreciate that too. And I did try to do an auditor, but my Sleepy Beauty did not work well.
Yeah, it's a tough role because you're definitely overnight, and what a lot of people don't understand is you're still part of the front desk team. So if your AM shift doesn't come in, you're staying a little bit longer, and if someone calls out a third shift, you may have to come back earlier. So you definitely have to be flexible.
Yeah, and not talking about the weather conditions, like by BWI, this would change on a daily basis. So at times we would start at 30% occupancy, end of the day was 95.
Right.
So that's also another point that I want to get into revenue management, because I've had great revenue managers that were, on a daily basis working with me when I was in the sales department and giving me heads up, right, of what did pick up for, next week and what is going on in town. And, he was always hand in hand with me. And of course, as well, getting some of the data insights, right, to the salesperson. And then we would have discussions of, is this group a nice piece of business for the hotel, right? And many times I had to really explain that sometimes the numbers, it's the numbers don't lie for sure, but it's the relationship you have to maintain with the client. So
Mhm.
how do you balance, with working with, the sales teams that you've worked with throughout the career, and ensuring that they are buying, right, the data to actually sell to the customers in the end of the day?
Yeah, so I would say with revenue management, I always say that we're more so the storytellers of the team. So you have your top goal, which is your budget and your roadmap for the year, and then from there you're playing quarterback and telling the story of how you want the year to end. So working with the different teams to get them to buy and to understand what the big end goal is for the property and the team, and then also if things deviate, you're calling audibles and reviewing, business cases that they may have presented in the past that may have not have worked, but could potentially work at that point in time. So really, at least working with the teams I've worked with in the past, it's really a collaborative approach, working with the sales managers, directors of sales, and the events and coordination teams, just to make sure that we're on the same page and I can best support them with information they need as well to make sound business decisions.
Yeah, and also, I think from my green days, when I was at, the hotel level, I remember that at times I didn't understand why we wouldn't take a lower rate when we had rooms. But, it's all about, again, revenue management and, yielding, right, through the segmentation. So talk to us about, that dynamic.
Sure. So with that dynamic with yielding, it's really understanding in both sides of the story, because you're kind of the liaison between the ownership group, asset management, and then the property on-site team. So basically, when we're looking at different demand patterns, seasonal demand, we're just making sure that at least our net rates are up to par. And then if there's an opportunity to get a little bit more rate for the hotel's profitability, we're maximizing that as well.
Yeah, another point that I've learned with, the yielding too is the displacement analysis, right? So for me at the time, I was in a hotel in Queens, New York, and
Mhm.
like I was like, oh my God, we're in Queens. It's so hard to sell. Right. This is like 15 years ago. And, having the displacement analysis, I could, run my numbers, plug in real quick and get the rates that I expected according to the budget. But definitely at times it has helped me a lot. And that was the only time that I was actually real surprised by something, right? Like a new form. And, surprisingly, when I came from a small hotel, I did not use any displacement analysis. So do you think there is a difference like between, medium-sized branded hotel than, a smaller size, even branded as well, and how, that operate on a daily basis?
Yeah, I would say especially for full service hotels, running those displacement analysis is really key because a lot of times you think the business is the right fit for the hotel, and you want to think it is, but always just second checking and running a displacement analysis will open your eyes because then you can look at the profitability of the group or piece of business that you're bringing into the hotel. And then you have an opportunity to assess if you have an opportunity to bring up the rate a little bit, or maybe you can even offer more concessions like free breakfast based on where the rates are and profitability is. With limited service hotels, maybe it's not always the case, but it also depends on the seasonality of that specific property and if that period of time makes sense. So I could say it could be a good fit for all types of hotels, but definitely more so full service properties.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that insight. And what is your thoughts about the new tools in revenue management these days?
Oh, I think it's amazing. The thing that we're missing is a good forecast tool. Once AI can solve forecasting to get us between 3 to 5%, oh, the job will be so much easier.
And with AI, right? I That's another point. So like I remember also, right, like every year there is something new in the market and another, what is it, program revenue management from the brand and training and and then the OTA segmentation came about. And then I remember when I saw, I think it was a OTA insight, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes my life so much easier because I see our rates and everybody else is in the comp set rates, available here. And I really enjoyed that time. But then also uh, I've learned quickly that you have to feed information.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's not really accurate, right? So how
Right.
does that work, feeding it the information of that particular hotel in, of course, in that particular market into this, new tools that are coming out almost every year?
Yeah, I would say too with the new tools, essentially for revenue managers, we're looking for tools that can make our job more efficient and save time that we can focus on more revenue impacting tasks. So, even with all these new these tools and AI technology, there's times that it could be overload, like you get data paralysis and you don't know what to do because there's just so much data points that impacts your decision making. But if you can minimize the tools that you're using, that you can focus on the most efficient ones, that'll make the job so much better. You mentioned like with the rate shops for the OTAs and the different other partners that hotels use. I think that was key because I remember earlier in my career, I was doing manual rate shops every morning. First thing in the morning, I would shop the comp set. I would go to their website, write down our rates, and then decide if we're going to increase or decrease our rates or if our rate strategy made sense. Now you just have so much data at an instance where you can just wake up, refresh the data, you have your rate shops, and then now you can quickly assess and make the next decision. So I
Yeah.
think it's very amazing. And then also with Power BI, it's another tool where you're able to incorporate all that information into just one dashboard. Not a lot of companies use it, but I do recommend that if you have the ability to have Power BI and more analytics and just a one-stop shop dashboard definitely saves time and increases your decision-making capabilities in that moment.
Yeah, and at times, in the sales role too, I was, joking with my revenue manager because we were in a downtown location in DC, and I'm like, man, it's so hard to get a group approved by you because you say no like 70% of the time. And he's like, okay, you got to bring the right business, I'm like, I know, but if last year this group paid $20 less, they are really asking me where is this increase come from? Because it's definitely more than 3-5%.
Mhm.
So again, I think the analysis of the revenue team definitely helps, understanding the business and then relaying that information in the end of the day to the customer.
Exactly.
Now, if somebody were to ask you, I'm new, I'm just left college, where in hospitality should they start and why?
So for me, I am biased to revenue management, but it really depends on the person's personality and goals. What I do love about our industry is that essentially you can find a place in any department that fits your personality, goals, or ambitions. So if you like to be out and about and in the face of customers and winning clients over, the sales team's a perfect stop for you. If you're more analytical and want to be involved with the strategy, revenue management's a great roadmap. And then if you just like traditional hospitality and dealing with guests and impacting the guest experience, then operations is a good route. And if you like to be behind the desk crunching numbers, there's a place for you in finance.
Yeah, actually, also, I wanted to point out that a lot of times, right, you are managing like 5 to 10 hotels. Talk to us about how do you, plug into the next thing, even though with the help of all of these systems.
Yeah, I think more so when you deal with multi-unit assets, it's really managing your time and day by day. So having a strong calendar system to keep track of everything, and then usually you'll get into your routine with your daily tasks. Now, with our industry, every day is different, and you think you're doing one thing, and then by 12 p.m., your whole day is going to change. But that's what makes it exciting as well.
Yeah, and also one thing that I've learned, I think it was my last hotel too, that it's not just crushing the numbers and displacement analysis and all of that good stuff. If you don't manage the channel manager, that your information that you're changing on the PMS or on the OTA side, it can change as well and it not be pretty, because we don't like to lose money for our owners.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And, it's really balancing the different systems, also having great partners like yourself and your team, just to build that relationship. The hospitality industry is still about relationships, and there's different times when you need to turn the faucets on or off and yield manage, and there's different times where we can make sure our partnerships remain strong as well. So it's really a collaborative effort, and who get benefits at the end of the day is wonderful guests that get to stay at the properties. So at the end of the day, we're all about hospitality.
Yeah, for sure. And your experience has been in major markets, right? Like first, I think we worked together in DC, and then you managed some hotels in Miami. So talk to us about, these major markets, the differences. Does it impact like your shift of mindset from, one market to another?
Yeah, so I think getting a chance and opportunity to work with different markets has been really fun because some of the markets I've got to work within the hospitality industry would be markets I would typically wouldn't travel to or have a reason to travel to. So it definitely gives me insights of those areas, and it also mixes up the day as well. Like your Northeast hotels are going to operate different than your Southern hotels or your Midwest hotels. And then once you get the chance to learn the seasonal demand drivers and what makes those market specific, it's kind of fine tuning that strategy. And it's like having multiple children. Like every child has a different personality, and that's how we manage the markets. Different personalities for different markets.
And besides that, you also attend conferences, right? Like we met in person last year at HCMAI annual meeting. And how do you also managing the hotels, being behind the desk, supporting the teams, and still attending those events as well for insights of the industry?
Yeah, those insights in the industries are very fun. I look forward to them because then you get to meet with different like-minded people, different partners. High tech, for example, you get to learn about the different technology that's coming into the hotel industry as well, and then you get to come back and share it with the teams. So definitely, I think it's important to definitely make time to attend those conferences for the different areas and the ones that are more impactful to your role. So for revenue management, it kind of has a wider reach, but they're definitely very insightful.
And just out of curiosity, Tato, what are some of your experience in revenue management and awards that are out there, right? Like, because there's always like, hey, this hotel revenue manager won an award because they got a better RevPAR for the year. So talk to us about, a little bit of what are those rewards really entail, and, if you can give us clarity there.
Yeah, so there's different awards or I would say for revenue managers, it's competitions, so to speak. So for RevPAR, for revenue per available room, is a great indicator for the industry as well. And at the end of the day, we're very competitive, just like the sales team. We want to make sure that our hotels have the best share, best rate growth or occupancy growth, depending on the different market standards. But those are really competitive features where you get to assess your full year and say, I really made an impact moving our share and benchmarking against other revenue managers of other properties as well.
Yeah, I love those. I remember that particular revenue manager. By the way, shout out to him, Kif. He's awesome. And now I think he is doing asset management. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm super proud, because people are just, growing and growing the career too. But any last, I know we're getting to, the end here. I want to be respectful of your time, but any last words and thoughts of, revenue management, collaboration in the overall industry?
No, I think it's growing. 20 years ago, revenue management tasks were more room inventory management and yielding. So I feel like every year revenue management adds more to the plate, but revenue managers need to be more holistic in their thought process of the total revenue management for the hotel. Also, we're seeing a shift from just RevPAR goals to TRevPAR to now looking at total revenue management, looking at both food and beverage revenue management, rooms revenue management, meeting space. So I definitely think that's going to redefine revenue management in the next 5 years or even shorter than that. So I'm excited to see where that path takes us.
So that kind of concerns me for my colleagues in revenue and in sales and events, because, there is quite a few options out there. And at times, you have to, hey, I have a complimentary boardroom for you, if you're trying to get that group and that win. But definitely, I think, improvements are always a great thing, and change are also, part of this game, right? And it's a daily change, and the people that don't do well with change or are resistant definitely are left behind, especially with the AI coming along. But thank you so much, Tato. This was fun. I love talking to you, picking your brain in the industry. And we have to redo another one, because there's so many questions that I want to ask in detail, and that I think 35 minutes is not enough.
Definitely, I'd love to come back and chat more about the industry and revenue management. Maybe beyond revenue management.
Yeah, and I will see you at HSMAI this year.
Yes, absolutely. Look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you so much, Tato.
Thanks. Bye-bye.